All right, in the next example, we're going to look at a business application of calculus. But before we get started, I just want to introduce a couple of concepts. One is marginal cost and the other is fixed cost. So let's say we have some cost function that represents the cost of producing Q items. So we have a cost function that varies with the number of items produced. Okay, then the marginal cost is the rate of change of the cost function with respect to quantity. Okay, so that's the derivative of the cost function is the marginal cost, and it just is telling us how much it costs to produce one more item. Okay, at a given production level. And the idea of fixed cost is kind of what you would expect. It's the fixed costs of running a business. So you have some sort of overhead costs or like rent or utilities that are fixed and do not vary with the quantity of items that you're producing. So since the marginal cost is a derivative function, it's a rate of change function, we can apply the fundamental theorem of calculus to it. So if we want to know the cost to increase production from A units to B units, right, that would be the cost of producing B units minus the cost of producing A units, and it's just the integral. It's the integral of the marginal cost with respect to quantity. Now we can also look at the total variable cost to produce B units, okay? And that's just going to be the integral of the marginal cost from 0 to B. But keep in mind, that's just the variable cost. We've got to add in the fixed cost to get the total cost of producing B items. Okay, so if we add the fixed cost and the total variable cost, we get the total cost of producing B units. All right, so we take C of 0, right, that's our fixed cost, and add the integral of the marginal cost from 0 to B. All right, let's look at an example. It'll make more sense when we look at it in context. So here in example 2, we're given a marginal cost curve. And we're told that the fixed cost is $1,000. I got to keep that in mind. And we want to estimate the total cost of producing 250 items. So we got this we're only going to be able to estimate the total cost because we don't actually have a function for that curve. And so, but what we can do is essentially look at the little grid rectangles here. So let's take a look at these rectangles. It looks like they're 50 units wide and $2 high. Okay. So each one of these, and this is dollars per item, right? So the height of the rectangle is $2 per item, and the width is 50 items, right? And so each grid rectangle represents $100. All right, so if we want to know the total cost of producing 250 items, then we need to add the fixed cost and the integral of the marginal cost. So the fixed cost we were told is $1,000. And then we want to integrate from 0 to 250. We want to integrate this marginal cost. And that integral gives us the total variable cost. Okay, so this is the cost that varies with the quantity we produce. All right. So now we just need to figure out that integral, right, which is the area under the curve. And so really the only way we can do it is just to estimate, okay, how many grid rectangles are there? There's some that are easy, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is pretty much 1. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll count this as 16. And then all of this up here maybe is 17. And then let's see, 18. 19 between these two, and here let's say we have about 20. Okay, so let's say we got about 20 grid rectangles. That's my best estimate. So I'm going to estimate this integral to be from 0 to 250 of the marginal cost curve, dq, to be approximately, I'll make it approximately 20, because there's 20 grid rectangles that I'm kind of estimating here, times $100, which we said was the you know, each grid rectangle represents $100. So that's telling me that we have it's about the variable cost is about $2,000. Okay, so now that I have that, I can find the total cost by just taking the fixed cost, which we said again was $1,000, plus the total variable cost, which is $2,000. Okay, which gives us $3,000. So that's my best estimate for the total cost of producing 250 items. All right, well, that's all I have for this lecture, and I will, you can look ahead at the discussion questions, and I'll see you in class.